Alrighty. So the person who was originally signed up to speak today messaged me and said, I'm not going to be able to speak because we're having family over for Mother's Day. I'm so sorry. Is it possible to change my date? And I was like, yes. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to talk about something that has really been on my heart a lot lately. And so I was actually kind of excited to have the opportunity to host the team call tonight because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've actually talked to my success partners about it a little bit and just kind of decided that it's time for me to be super transparent about where I see our team going, what we all need to be doing in order for the team to get there, and why I feel like it's so important. So I'm excited to share this all with you tonight. I'm also excited to give you some steps to help you become more successful. And I also want you to start thinking about what success looks like for you, because I think that the definition of success to like our corporate mentors might be different than what success looks like to you and me at this level. And then yesterday I went to this incredible training with Chris Downing, and someone who spoke there has been an elite coach 3 times, and for the last 3 years has not been an elite coach. And she kind of spoke up. She was one of the master trainers that led part of the training and the workout, and she kind of spoke up about that. And it wasn't a Beachbody sanctioned event, so it was safe, I guess, for her to talk about it. But it was really kind of cathartic for me to hear her say what she said. Like, I really needed to hear some of the things that I heard yesterday, and it made it even more concrete in my heart that this is what this call needs to be about tonight. So even though I wasn't really ready to share, I hadn't been planning on sharing, I should say, it really just kind of made me realize that this is the message that needs to be shared right now. So the first thing I want to share is, in case you haven't noticed, the group description and our team page is our Grit and Grace mission statement. And I want to make it really clear what our mission is, because so I don't know, I just want to be really transparent about everything that we are aiming to do as a team and aiming to do to help people. So this is our mission statement. Lead with grace, act with grit, to impact lives by example, loving ourselves despite our imperfections, embracing those imperfections as opportunities for growth, and living each day with a goal of progress, not perfection. I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I am stepping forward with grit, anchored in grace. And I'm sharing that with you because I think it's really important, myself included. Yeah, Christy's calling me out right now because I actually just texted my group that I have worked really close with for the past year, I guess, my success partners. And I told them that I am feeling terrible about my body right now. And I don't know why. I think it's because I put on a bikini today and went outside and played on the water slide with the kids. And I got to thinking, Laurel's like 20 months old. And when Carson was 20 months old, that was my first transformation. Like, when he was 20 months old was pretty much like when I had really like hit my best physical shape after having him, because I signed up to be a coach when he was 8 months old and went all in and had really good results. And I started beating myself up today. Like, Laurel's the same age he was. My body doesn't look the way it did at this point with him. And the girls were like, Lindsay, you've had 2 babies now. Like, is this your perception, or is this like reality for you? Are you really big, or are you just perceiving yourself this way? And I mean, when it boils down to it, if I think about what size is hanging in my closet, when I think about like, how I feel in my clothes and my energy levels and things like that, I'm in a really good place. Now, there's more loose skin than there was last time, but that's because I've had 2 babies now instead of 1. Like, so I need to give myself grace. So that's kind of why Christy's calling me out right now. And sometimes we need that reminder. And I think that's kind of what this call is about tonight too, is, we need to be reminded constantly of who we are, what we're capable of, and where we want to go. Because I think that the biggest thing holding some of us back right now is our self-belief. And that comes from feeling like you're not perfect, or feeling like somebody else has more going on than you, or, we play the comparison game. We do it with our fitness. We do it with, I'm doing it even with myself. Like at this point, after baby number 1, I was here and I'm not here now. And it's a healthy way to compare yourself. At least I'm comparing myself to myself, but it's still comparison. And comparison just steals joy. It does. It doesn't matter if you're comparing yourself to another person, or you're comparing your journey to somebody else's journey, or your beginning to somebody else's end, whatever it is. We have to really stop doing that. And we have to really get back to ground zero, where it's like, what's my goal for me? What's my goal for my family? What's my goal for my business? But that also kind of leads me into the next thing I wanted to talk about. This is such an incredible opportunity. And I think because of our limiting beliefs in ourselves, sometimes we don't realize that we are not sharing the opportunity to its full potential. And so where I'm headed is, I think that some of us have been, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, you know my heart, so you know where this is all coming from. But I think some of us have been not rank advancing, or not helping more people, or not, getting into the physical fitness. I know for me, I've had lots of excuses of like, and I eat whatever I want instead of following a meal plan, or, that kind of thing. But we're doing that because we don't always look at ourselves as business women or business people. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop like making excuses for ourselves, because even if we're not saying them out loud, we're saying them to ourselves a lot. Like that is something, like I don't even like to vocalize my goals sometimes. Like I have not come right out and told you guys that I want to be an elite coach this year, because I'm afraid to. Number one, I'm afraid that you're going to think I'm being selfish. That's been like my number one thing, that everyone's going to think, well, Lindsay just wants that accolade. And it's not about that. It's about so much more than that. And I wanted to share that with you tonight. But it's also because last year, all year long, I held myself back on purpose. I held myself back because I was afraid that my success and my goal crushing and my, all these great things that I was doing was hurting other people. And so instead of like going for it, I held myself back because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I didn't want to make anybody else uncomfortable. I didn't want to be up here where if everyone else was here. And I'm not talking about a team necessarily. I'm talking about in general. And I found that this is something that I've actually done a lot. And it actually stems from being severely bullied in middle school. So it's really good for you to make some connections as to like why you don't believe in yourself, or why you talk negative to yourself, or why you don't allow yourself to set big goals and then crush them. Because, and this is what I've realized, in middle school, I was severely, severely bullied because I was an all-star athlete. I played varsity sports, every varsity sport as a freshman. So the girls were very mean to me. As it went into high school, I ended up being the prom queen, and not because I was popular, but because I was nice to everybody. And so then the girls didn't want me to have my picture in the yearbook because they didn't want it to be Lindsay's yearbook, since it had been Lindsay's prom. And like, it just all stems from that. And so I found, even into adulthood, and I'm just learning this about myself, that I have never really allowed myself to maximize my full potential, because I don't want to be treated that way anymore. I don't want it to be all about Lindsay. I don't want it to be a reason for people to dislike me because I'm going for what I want. Because if you haven't noticed yet, and I'm sure you probably will, if nobody has said something negative to you about sharing on social media, or like, I'm sure at some point people are going to say to you, I have to unfollow you. Like, I even had an aunt say to me one time, and this was my husband's aunt, not my aunt, but she was like, you're just so positive on Facebook all the time. I had to stop following you. It annoys me. Me being positive annoys you? I'm sorry. Unfollow then, because you're not my people. Like, when she said that, I was like, okay. I didn't even know how to respond. But I found that I was holding myself back because of those things. And so you have to stop. You have to stop holding yourself back. You have to stop making yourself small so that other people are comfortable around you. Because when you do that, not only are you hurting yourself, but you're hurting so many people that need you. They need the positive message. They need the smiling selfie. They need someone who believes in them. They need someone in their corner. They need someone to crush a goal so that they realize maybe they can crush the goal too. And this is such an incredible opportunity that we have, not just the opportunity to get healthy and fit and have energy and all of this coming from natural sources, but the opportunity to build a business. I went live earlier this week sharing my income from the first week of May. And I actually got my first serious hater this week too on Instagram. They messaged me and they were like, you're lying. That's not really what your income was. You're just trying to get people to join your team, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I have nothing to hide and nothing to gain. Like I'm sharing it because I want people to realize that I literally came from nowhere. Like my town, people don't even know my town. People don't know. I went to high school in the same school that pre-K goes in. So pre-K through 12 in the same building, and there's less than 400 students in the entire building. Like I really come from a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. So if I can do that, I can hit those goals and I can make that income for my family. If I can pay for Disney in 1 week, then other people can do it too. Other people have a lot more, they probably have a stronger baseline to work off of than what I did. And so that's why I'm sharing those things. So it's really important that if you struggle with self-belief, which I think most women do, I think that's just something about us. Like we feel the need to be everything to everyone. So if you struggle with that, then it's really important for you to try to maybe pinpoint the root of that struggle and start working to overcome it. Either working to overcome it with personal development. I know for me, Girl Wash Your Face was really huge for me. And we're going to be doing that in our challenge group in June. And I plan to totally reread it because when I was reading that, I felt really good about me. I also just read another book called The Judgment Detox, which was really good for me because I realized that I was judging other things and other people, thinking that they didn't like me or thinking that they were angry at me or thinking that they were, thinking someone else was a better leader than me. And it was me judging them, and it wasn't fair to them, and it wasn't fair to me because it was actually hurting me too. Yeah, Mastering Your Mean Girl, I actually just put that in my Amazon cart because I need to read that one. I haven't read that one. That book was called The Judgment Detox, Christy. And it's by the same author of The Universe Has Your Back. I haven't read that one, but I heard that one's really good too. So the reason why I spent so much time kind of sharing like my insecurities and sharing that, self-belief is really huge is because it's time for some of you to, and I just hope you guys know how uncomfortable it makes me to kind of give you the tough love that I'm going to give you tonight. But I also love you so much that I'm not going to sit here and not do it because, I owe it to you. Like this is I can't make myself small because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I have to give you this right now because you deserve it. And you can do, even if you get mad at me for a few days, you can do what I'm going to talk about tonight. It's time for you to stop holding yourself back and to start really analyzing what our mission statement means to you. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're not inviting people to the opportunity, and by opportunity, I mean the business, if you're not inviting people to your challenge group, if you're not showing up every day, drinking your shake, doing your workout, following your nutrition to the best of your ability, sharing your failures, failing forward, then are you truly here to help people? Because here's the thing, your business will only get as big as the amount of lives you are changing. So if you want to continue to change lives, and that's genuinely what you're here for, I'm not talking income, I'm not talking Success Club points, I'm not talking about any of that stuff. If you are genuinely here because you have a heart for other people, which I think is why most people sign up in the first place, then it's time for you to start showing up, whether it makes you uncomfortable or not. And I say that because there are times when you end up being a brand pusher, or you end up being a product pusher, or you end up being like, I'm just going to share my transformation. And guys, let's be honest. Those things are attractive to the people who are already believing that they can do something to change their situation. But the people that genuinely need us are the ones who don't have any of that belief right now. They need someone to show them that I don't believe all the time either, but this is something that this person is being successful at. So now I think maybe I should try it too. So you have to start showing up. You have to start being consistent. You have to make sure that you are showing up every single day. And that means if you're showing up today and maybe you didn't do your workout today because something happened, share that. The other day I went live, or I shared on Facebook that I've just been lazy. I haven't gotten out of bed in the mornings. Didn't mean I missed my workouts. I still did my workouts, but I had to do them in the evening. And that makes life harder for my family, because that means that while my kids are getting ready for bed, Justin's solo parenting while I'm in the sunroom getting my sweat on, which isn't necessarily fair to him either. But I shared that mess the other day. Make sure that you are branding yourself. Stop being a Beachbody coach. Stop being like the Shakeology pusher. Start talking instead about how much your team has changed your life, or how much this opportunity is blessing you, or how much this shake is making mornings easier. I know before I would hit up the vending machine almost every day and buy a Pop-Tart. And now I don't, because I'm having Shakeology and it's so much healthier and so much better for my wallet. Start thinking in terms of, as I invite people to this opportunity and as my income grows, that's a direct reflection of the lives I'm changing. Because I know that I did not start this business looking for an income. In fact, I kind of made fun of, and I hate to admit this, but I kind of like poked fun at people like Lindsay Matway and Bonnie Engel, because I was like, who wants to do that full time? Like, I remember specifically sitting in the cafeteria at school next to my girlfriend that signed me up. And like, we were joking about the fact that some people do this full time and like, this is their only gig. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I could just, make a couple $100 and be happy. And then it turned into like, I can't not share this anymore. And that's where you need to be. You need to be at a point where it's like, I can't hold this back, because it's not fair to people. It's not fair to people for me to just keep this all for me. And it came to a point where it was like, okay, I need to just stop sharing the health and fitness aspect and how this is making me feel good, and start also sharing the fact that this paid for my car payment this month, or this paid for this month, and this could bless your family. Guys, I know a lot of you are teachers, or a lot of you are in positions where you don't make nearly what you should in your profession. This is such an opportunity for teachers. Like, before I started coaching, I worked every summer at Boys and Girls Club full time, and I worked part-time at Bath and Body Works. And that I don't have to do that now, because I have this income. Like that, even with my husband's income, I had to do those things in order to be able to really live through the summer. I also had money coming out of my paycheck every month going into an account that was called Summer Cash Account, and that was my summer money. I don't have to do that anymore because I have this income. And no, it's not the same every month. There's good months and bad months, but it's enough for me to know that I don't have to work summer school. I don't have to tutor. I don't have to waitress. I don't have to bartend. I don't have to do the extra stuff that would take me away from my family during those months that I genuinely feel I deserve and earn throughout the school year. So use those things. Be the coach you want to be. And if you're not the coach you want to be yet, and when I say that, I mean if you're not the rank you want to be yet, or you're not like as successful as you want to be, or whatever it is in your mind that is success in this business, then you just need to fake it till you make it. I was talking on Facebook and on Instagram like I was a 15-star superstar diamond coach when I had only been coaching for 2 months. And I was talking like that because I genuinely believed that I could do it. Am I there yet? No, but I still believe I can if I want to. Now, that's where I'm going to bring you back, though, to redefining success for you. Success for me is not being a superstar diamond coach. Success for me is not being the top 10. Honestly, because I know when you start to hit those kinds of goals, and I think it's amazing that those are goals on some people's lists. And I know that my mentor with Beachbody would tell me, oh, Lindsay, that should be on your list, or why isn't it on your list? Are you just holding yourself back? I'm genuinely not holding myself back. I do believe that if I put in way more hours and way more time on social media, connecting with people, inviting more people than I do right now, that I could hit those goals. the point is, I chose to start this, to really pursue the business aspect of this, to help other people, but also because I wanted more time and freedom with my kids. When I look at someone like Melanie Mitro, who's been #1 in Beachbody for the last 3 or 4 years, I think 3 years now. To me, I 4 years now. So my business, I probably put in, especially with the 2B Mindset launch, I've probably been putting in 10-ish hours a week. Whereas before that launch, it might have been more like 5 or 6 hours a week. But Melanie Mitro works this full time. Melanie Mitro is probably working a 40 to 60 hour work week. So that's why she's #1 in the company. I'm not willing to do that. So that, and I don't want to do that. That's not my goal. That's not my goal at all. So it's really, really important for you to define those goals. Do not allow your limiting beliefs to hold you back, though. I'm not saying I don't want to be #1 in the company because I have limiting beliefs. I'm saying I don't want to be #1 in the company because I don't want to do the work that I know I would have to do in order to get there. It's not that I can't, it's that I don't want to, because my family's first. It always has been, always will be. This has been an opportunity for me to actually give more to them. And so I'm not going to take away from them at all in order to hit goals that corporate would like me to have on my goal list. So this is where I'm headed. In order for us to be an elite team, and let me explain why I want to be an elite team. Let me explain where that comes from. To me, that title of being elite means that we are not just showing up and helping people and changing lives. It means that we are going above and beyond for those people. It means that we aren't just throwing people in a challenge group and helping them, stay healthy for 30 to 60 days. It means that we are actually helping people find the root of their problem, whether it's emotional eating or whether it's depression, these are things that I was struggling with when I joined. And these are things that I have overcome by being not just on the health and fitness journey with Beachbody, but also I think probably even more so, the business and team journey with Beachbody has really helped me to overcome like postpartum depression. That's actually what led me to Beachbody in the first place. The emotional eating that I still struggle here and there. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but have totally really come to terms with. It's also huge that I could just share with you, #1, that I was bullied, because I haven't shared that a lot. I just started sharing that this year because that's been that's just been really hard for me to share it all, because that really affected me all through school and I never really talked about it. So then this has given me the confidence and the ability to actually share that part of my story, but then also come to terms with it and realize like that stuff that happened to me when I was 15 years old still affects me and I'm 33. And it's time for me to let it go and be me and stop worrying about all that. And that took me being a part of this team almost 4 years now to get there. But these are the things that we can do when we get people started and really help them. So that title of elite to me means we're not just throwing people in a group and giving them a meal plan and helping them lose weight and helping them, look good. We're actually going above and beyond and helping them feel good and do good and not just do good, but be the best version of themselves possible, and to understand that this is a constant progress. This is not perfection. This is constant growth and constant failing forward. And elite also gives us this ability to say we're a 2019 elite team. And what that means for people when they're considering what team to join, it really does mean the difference between like this team can support me and help me and really get me started right and going in the right direction, or this other team might be a better fit for me. So in order to hit elite, we definitely need to be helping people get started, not just on their health and fitness journey, but also in their business journey. We need 2 of my personally sponsored coaches to go diamond this year. So I'm going to really encourage you, those of you that have been coaches for a long time and you're not Emerald yet, if your goal is to really help people and to get them started and changing their lives, I really want to encourage you to make Emerald a major goal for you. I would say by the end of June. I say that because Emerald means a lot in your business. It means that you have rank advanced, which when we announce that you have rank advanced, that shows up on your social media page and people realize, oh, wow, this is real. This girl's actually doing this. Because I know that you're doing it regardless of what your rank is or what your title is. But people on the outside, they're like, if you think you don't believe in yourself, the people around you are super skeptical. Like the guy that reached out to me, it was a guy on Instagram who was calling me out saying I was lying about my income. He was like, yeah, this is just a pyramid scheme, blah, blah, blah. You just make money from signing people up. And I was like, actually, no. When I sign a coach up, I make commission off the sale, and then I don't make any more money off them at all, ever. And he was like, yeah, right. It's a pyramid scheme, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, sir, I assure you that you are misinformed. This is not a pyramid scheme. And he went on to say one more thing. And I was like, you know what? That would be a pyramid scheme. We are not one. And if we did do that, we would be shut down. And he actually stopped responding to me after that. Like I started to think, why am I giving this guy any of my time and energy? And then after I told him that, he must have like looked it up because he realized I was right and he was wrong, and he left me alone. But it's really important, like all of these, like Michelle just said, like she used to think, oh, she's serious. But so many people, when they see us sharing things, if they don't know, knowledge is power. And if they don't have the knowledge, they're super, super skeptical. And you have to shut down that skepticism with what you're sharing. That's why it's so important to stop being the Beachbody brand. It's so important to stop being like the product pusher. And it's more important to brand yourself and talk about the things that are changing in your life. And when people start to ask why they're changing, that's when you can say, well, I got hooked up with this amazing team of positive people who are constantly just breathing life into me. And we've got this community of all these women who are trying to, to make themselves better versions of themselves, which empowers me to be a better version of me. And it's so easy to start sharing because you quickly realize how much this community does mean to us and how much it does change us from the inside out when you get started. But we've got all these people who have heard negative things about multi-level marketing scams or multi-level marketing businesses, or you've got people who have had a situation where maybe they worked with a different company and then that company went under, or that company was doing some kind of shady things. Like we've had people join our team who were doing something with another company, and then they were like, yeah, I had to buy like $400 worth of product myself every quarter in order for it to be, and this was like makeup and stuff. And I was like, who buys $400 worth of makeup? I don't know. But they were having to do stuff like that in order to maintain their business. Otherwise they got kicked out of the business, not just rank, like they just got kicked out. And those are things that people automatically assume about us just because they've heard it about other companies. So it's really important that when you're sharing things, you're kind of knocking out all that skepticism in the beginning. So the reason why I had you guys before the call tonight, and if you didn't do this, please make it your homework tonight or tomorrow, list 12 people that need your help, is because it only takes 12 people to go diamond. And diamond is really, it's really where your business starts to just grow and just do incredible things, because Emerald is the first really big step in your business where you're getting weekly bonuses and things like that. But then when you hit diamond, those weekly bonuses get even bigger. You're truly helping other people develop businesses themselves. And it comes down to you just being a leader, not just by saying like, I'm a leader, I'm going to do these things, but also being able to share with people like, these are the people I'm helping. It's more than a handful, more than 2 handfuls of people that I'm helping. And it's not just me helping them in their health and fitness journey, but this person was able to, I don't know, maybe you're able to pay off your credit card this month with the income that you have, or maybe you're able, I know for me, I can go into Lowe's Foods now, which this is something I couldn't do 4 years ago. I can go into Lowe's Foods and I can buy the fresh produce and buy the boar's head meat and buy the stuff that I know is healthier and tastes better for me and my family without kind of that. I don't go out and like spend frivolously, but without kind of batting an eye at whether or not I can afford it, because I know I can afford it because I have this extra income. The other day, Laurel was really upset because Carson has a bike with training wheels on it and Laurel doesn't have one, and she wanted to ride his bike and she obviously can't. She's 20 months old. So I went to Walmart and bought her a tricycle and didn't really have to think a whole lot about whether or not I could do that, which 4 years ago I did. I probably would have put it on a credit card and I would have paid it off next month when I got paid. And then at the end of next month, I would have been putting more stuff on a credit card and paying it off the month later, because that's just how it worked for my family until this opportunity came along. And the reason why I'm saying diamonds should be on your goal list is because, in all honesty, 12 people, it should be so easy for you to come up with 12 people who need you, 12 people who need this, because honestly, I can't think of anyone in my life who doesn't need this. Maybe they're already signed up, and they're still here because they need it. It's so much more than like hitting your weight goal and then never coming back. I mean, that's why you're here. That's why you're on the call tonight, especially on Mother's Day. So I want you to make a list of 12 people who need this, and I want you to make sure that you invite them to our sneak peek on Wednesday, because they need to hear it. They need to hear it from more than just you. They need to see that this is more than just an opportunity that you fell into, and they need to see that, anybody from anywhere can do something with this business. So 12 people, I want you to put their names down, and then I'm going to push a little bit harder, and I'm going to say to you, there are some of you, I actually started writing it down and making a list. I'm going to make a post tomorrow, and it's going to be called the Diamond Watch, because my husband included only needs 4 coaches in order to be diamond. And by 4 coaches, I mean he needs 2 coaches, and then he needs 2 people to go emerald in order for that. Tara only needs 4 coaches to be diamond. Skylar and Anna are super close to being diamond. I can't remember how many exactly they need. I believe that Faith only needs like 2 coaches to be diamond right now. So if you really look at it in that light, if you have 12 people on your list who need you, who need this opportunity, then why is getting 2 more coaches or 4 more coaches hard? Why are you not pushing to hit that goal? And I really think it all boils back to, or stems back to, that limiting self-belief. We've got it in our heads that like Lindsay can do this, or we've got it in our heads that Christy can do this, or Sarah can do this, or whatever. And I'm not going to lie to you. I struggle with that too. Like, Christy is a rock star at following a meal plan and being organized and crushing it. Sarah, it has been a bodybuilder for, I don't know what, the last 5 years, and she's amazing. But guys, we all are normal people. Sarah was my roommate in college. That's how we met. And like, that's so basic, right? It's not because she was some bodybuilder on Facebook and that's how we connected. Like there's just so many, we're so normal and so like everybody else out there. And that's what we need to be sharing, because I know that you think, like, even if you signed up a month ago or 2 months ago, there are people who are seeing your posts and they're going, oh yeah, she's good at that. This is a good thing for her. Like, I knew Michelle would be a good coach way before Michelle even like came to me saying, okay, let's do this. I'm pretty sure I invited her 4 years ago when I first got started because I knew she would be good at it. And I knew that it would bless her. And now I know people are seeing her posts, and they may not say it to her yet, but they are definitely thinking, Michelle's good at this. This is right up Michelle's alley. And so, but there's so many people out there who think, yeah, this is right up her alley, but that's not my thing. And Michelle actually used to think that about me. Like, she shared that with me. That's why I keep talking about her, because we were talking the other day, and she was saying, like, I used to think this was not something for me. I used to think it was like, everybody got the same plan, and everybody, you know, it was very like, everybody gets this, and, you know, same thing doesn't work for everybody. So that made me realize I really need to start sharing the fact that it's not a cookie cutter plan. It's not something where everybody gets the same thing and it's expected to work or not work. So I've tried to start incorporating that into my posts, because that made me realize that's someone's skepticism right there. But there are so many people who are looking at you and watching you post on social media, and they're thinking in their head, oh, I can't do that. Like, that's something Lindsay's good at. That's something Mandy's good at, but that's not something I can do. But it is. Like, Kristen Battaglia, I took this training from her the other day, and that's kind of where all this came from. Like, me talking about popping emeralds and popping diamonds, and I just kind of decided we should be talking about popping gemstones in general, since it's emerald, ruby, diamond. I don't want us to all to necessarily focus on hitting diamond right now, if emerald is where we need to be focusing right now. But we do need to be focusing on sharing that and getting there, because when I went live in the team page and shared my income the other day, I shared that because over $1,000 of that weekly income was because of my rank. That was not commissions. I am not someone who hits like Success Club 50 or anything like that. Like, there are people that are in some of the groups I'm in, and they're like, I'm at Success Club 114 right now. And I'm like, what? How do you even help that many people? How do you genuinely help them? How are you not just throwing them in a group and hoping they do well? Because to me, I wouldn't be able to give them the time they deserve. But the fact that I was able to create that income for my family because of my rank, that means that I'm helping other people build businesses. That means the people underneath me are also growing their income each month. Now, do I expect to make that much money every week for the rest of the year? No, I completely understand that was a launch week. We had a huge launch for our team. We rocked it. And so many people saw a really great income that week. But that's still pretty incredible. That right there finished paying for our Disney trip. And we're getting to do something on that Disney trip that my parents had to save for like 4 or 5 years in order to take us to Disney. And I don't have to. I could take my kids every year if I want to. That's huge for me. Like, my vacations growing up were going, and I'm not saying anything bad about my parents because they are amazing. But my vacations growing up were like going camping for a week in a camper. And again, that's where I learned to ride a bike. That's where I learned how to swim. Like, that was amazing for me. But the fact that I can do more for my kids is really, really huge. And that's what I want for you guys. Like, I want the people that join our team to be able to give their kids more, because that's all we ever want. That's all we ever want as parents. And that's all I ever want for any of you. Like, I want us to all be in a place where we are happier and freer and just better than where we were. And it doesn't mean you have to hate your life right now in order to join this team or anything like that. It just means that you want to be the best version of yourself. And that can be in so many arenas. So that's really, really where I see us going. I see us really being able to change lives. And I see our team being such a powerful movement. And I see us relating to so many people who genuinely need this. And I think it's time that we all stop making ourselves small because we're afraid. I think it's time that we all stop making ourselves small because we don't want other people to be uncomfortable around us. And I think it's time that we stop making ourselves small because somebody else doesn't believe in what we're doing. Who cares? If they don't believe right now, they will next year or the year after when they see that we did it. And that's why we need to really focus on figuring out, we know what our team's mission statement is, but it's time for you to really dig deep and figure out what your mission statement is, what your goals look like, what success looks like, or maybe not even what it looks like. Maybe not even titles or rank or income or anything like that. Maybe what it feels like. Because for me, success feels like being able to do whatever I want with my kids and not have to worry about where the money's coming from. It feels like being happy and being energized and running around the playground with my kids instead of sitting on the park bench watching them because I'm too tired or too hot or too sweaty or whatever. Like, I don't want to be that mom that's not going down the slide because she doesn't fit down the slide. Like, that that's who I was when I joined. I couldn't do those things when I joined because I was in that space, and that's what brought me here. And so it's really important for you to understand what you want out of this business and then start actually pushing for it. Because it's really easy for us to set monthly goals. It's really easy for us to say we want one thing and then do nothing about it. And that's honestly why we're all here. We all came here because we wanted something and we didn't know how to do it for ourselves, or we knew how, but we just didn't do it. I mean, that's so much of why I'm here. Like, I knew I needed to exercise. I knew I needed to eat right. I knew I needed to do something to make myself love me and stop hating myself and bashing myself in the mirror. But I wasn't doing it without us. So you definitely, you need to make it a goal to make your list of 12, figure out what success looks like and feels like for you, and then start working toward it. And personally, I would like to know if you're pushing for emerald or ruby or diamond. I would like for you to, I don't know, maybe announce it in the team page. If you're not comfortable doing that, then message me and let me know, because I want to know that you're in it to win it and that you are interested in being supported in that way. Because I'll be honest with you, this whole call I've been shaking because I'm so uncomfortable talking about this, not because I don't believe in it, but because I don't want to make anybody feel like they should have this goal, or that they're inferior if they haven't hit this yet, or they haven't, you know what, I love you all, and I don't ever want to make someone feel upset or hurt or like less than because of what I say. That is never my intention. And I think you all know that. But I have been so uncomfortable because I see it in you. And it is so hard to see it in someone and not have them see it in themselves. And so I need to know if that's really your goal, then give me permission to push you. Give me permission to be the tough love. Give me permission to check in with you and maybe even make you mad once in a while. But also understand that with that permission, you have my love, my attention, my guidance, whatever I can help, whatever I can get from someone else and share with you. I'm happy to. I am not like the end all be all guru, but I have some connections with people who I believe are. And so when they share things with me, I definitely pass them along. And if I know that you're someone who wants to be pushed and you're someone who has big goals and wants to make something of this business and help other people make something of this business, then I'm here to do that with you. So I wanted to get that all out. I've been talking to Christy about it quite a bit, and she was like, Lindsay, you just need to tell us. You need to tell us what you need, because honestly, us being an elite team is not something I can do. It's not. I've honestly done almost as much as I can do in order to help us. Now it's all of us. It's time for everybody to step up and start doing the little things every day, like being consistent, running Rockstar Challenge groups, branding yourself and stop branding Beachbody. Just invite, because I think that even me this week, I've really failed on the invites. Last week I was crushing it. The week before I was crushing it. This week I need to check myself because I haven't been doing it. Like, these are the things we need to be doing in order for our team to be able to say, we're an elite team, we're rock stars, and we're changing lives. We're not just touching lives, we are genuinely changing lives. And that's what I believe we should all be fighting for every day. Are there any questions? No? I'm going to take it off speaker so I can see everybody. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to stop recording.